But we're going to talk hockey now because we are in the thick of perhaps the most exciting NHL regular season ever. And our good friend Matthew Barnaby joins us from the nation's capital. Let's bring in Barney from Bet99. How you doing, Barney?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
Fantastic. Listen, when you wrote me this morning and said, whatever would we talk about, I know you were tongue-in-cheek there. Like, when you were thinking that, what's the number one thing on your mind right now in the National Hockey League?
Well, there's so many great storylines. I mean, I absolutely love the All-Canadian division, the North Division, so it's been awesome that way. But you have to look at Columbus. You have to look at the big trade. Dubois wanted out of Columbus. Laine wanted out of Winnipeg. They both got their wish. And Laine is one of those players that you're going to love what he brings you. He can score goals. He had 3 in his first 3 games there. But there's times that you're going to struggle with his commitment defensively and sometimes his work ethic. Having said that, there's only so many guys that can score 40 goals in the National Hockey League. And I guarantee with the benching that just happened yesterday, hopefully they're able to resolve that. I know John Tortorella very, very well. I played with him as a 19-year-old. He was an assistant coach with the Buffalo Sabres when I was there. And then I played with him later on in my career in Tampa Bay when I was 29, 30 years old. He wears on you. He's tough. He demands 100%, which every coach should. But I truly believe in the year that we are in 2021, you can't coach each player the exact same way. There's different dynamics. They're coming from, I think we have to realize that they come from different backgrounds. Obviously, language barriers, all that plays into it. If they don't figure it out with Patrik Laine, I guarantee Patrik Laine wins this battle. Tortorella will not win it after trading Pierre-Luc Dubois for him. So, Torts, you better figure this out or you're going to be on the way out.
Barney, I can't remember if it was you. I thought it was you. Did you not say you had him with the Rangers? Somebody told me they had him with the Rangers. He was an assistant coach there, but Torts, that is. And they loved him because he was so straight up. He didn't play head games. So I guess... yeah, you kind of said it. Not every guy responds to the same style, right?
And you know what? I've always said, you want every guy to have the same rules. Having said that, I've coached at the youth level. I've coached in the OHL. You just can't. You have to give leeway to certain guys. Work ethic is one thing that should be demanded. And I'm not one of those. Everyone gets a trophy. Everyone, we're all great. Everything's good. It's always the teacher's fault. No, I'm not saying that. And I get the work ethic when we see it with Patrik Laine. I'm just saying 4 games in to start benching him, that's where you start to lose guys. And Torts isn't a bad guy. I don't dislike Torts. I like him away from the ring. He just can wear on guys, certain guys, when he treats everyone the exact same and doesn't give leeway to certain guys. So it's a tough thing for some players to play with. I didn't love playing for John Tortorella. Now, having said that, I'm a little biased. He didn't like me as a player, so why are you going to like him as a coach? But I do like John Tortorella away from the ring.
But here's the thing, Barty, because, I spent 17 years in the Western Hockey League, and I remember having discussions at the front of the bus. We had skilled guys, and the coaches were just pulling their hair out. He won't play defense. He won't play back check. And I'm like, yeah, but your 16 other grinders can't raise the puck off the ice. Like, you got to have some guys with skill. And it's just... not every coach agrees with that, man. You got to play 200 feet every guy, I guess.
Listen, Dave Tippett is my favorite coach. Take away Ted Nolan, but the best X's and O guy I ever played for in the National Hockey League is Dave Tippett. And he has a great job, and I think he's learned as well. He's an old school guy. It has to be defense first. But do you see Draisaitl? Do you see McDavid getting benched if they maybe aren't 100% on the back check or committed D-zone? No, because they bring something that the other guys just can't bring to the table. You don't coach Draisaitl and McDavid the same way that you're going to coach Cassidy. That's just the reality of it is. And as a player now, having evolved, I totally understand it.
Why Tippett's asking him to do it, you mean? Like, was it Don Cherry who said first, asking them to play defense would be like having Secretariat pull the Budweiser wagon? Like, are you saying they should have to play defense or not?
No, I mean, you have to play defense. You can't just be, oblivious to your D-zone or back checking. Yes. But are there times when guys play, and we saw them play over 5 minutes the other night, are there times that your top stars aren't going to be the best defensively? Yeah, that's the reality. If they were the best defensively and the best offensively, well, I haven't seen quite that many players. Maybe Patrice Bergeron is one of those guys, but he's not the best offensively. The best offensive guys I've ever played with, Pavel Bure, Mark Messier, Pat LaFontaine, they worked defensively, but they were thinking offense every single time. And that's just the way stars are, and different personalities. Again, learning how to get the best out of each personality is equally as important as being a great tactician, what John Tortorella is.
There you go. So it's like, just try playing defense. Just try. Just commit to it is kind of what you're saying. James in Morden, Manitoba says, poor Patty. He's talking about Laine. He didn't know what he was getting into. Torts will be gone in a year. I don't know about that, but that's enough on that. Let's move on. I assume you watched the Sens game last night. I'm watching the Oilers, and 5 minutes in, fight after fight, it was like the 90s. I knew it wasn't going to continue, but dang, it was fun. What caused that?
Yeah, it was a couple good ones. Couple good ones going at it, and some big boys. Obviously, Kajian and Branson going at it, and obviously Austin Watson sticking up, trying to make a name for himself in Ottawa. So yeah, it was a good start to the game. Ottawa had a little bit of life. It's the first time all year I'm in the betting world. You don't see too many under-overs set at 7 before the game. So I hope anyone that was betting out there took the under, took my advice, because to go over 7 is pretty damn tough. You got to score 8 goals. That's a lot. But I thought it was a good game by the Ottawa Senators. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers find a way. Draisaitl has a big game, and now they're back at it again tonight. But very entertaining game.
It was. I sprinkle in comments, Barney, as we go. Shane McGowan's in Winnipeg. He's a mental coach there. He says, Patrik is a guy who needs to not take it personal, as he takes criticism hard, and until he realizes Torts wants to bring out the best in him, but not sure he can. That's a double-edged sword, man. And you, Barney, the people that watch this show are sports people. They get it. A guy that takes it personal is a guy that cares, right? That you kind of want that, don't you?
I've played with guys that just didn't bother them. And those aren't guys you want. If you get benched and it doesn't bother you, you're in the wrong profession. Everyone gets hurt feelings. Now, I think there's a part of it where you have to self-reflect, and Laine has to self-reflect and say, okay, this is why I got benched. And I hope Torts, because I've seen in the past, he's not great at communicating in a positive way. He's a very smart guy. He's very upfront. He doesn't play any games. Hey, he told me, Matthew, I don't think you're fast enough to play in the National Hockey League anymore. Great. You're honest with me. We all want honesty. I said, Torts, trade me to the New York Rangers. I had 3 of my best years. And when I scored against Tampa Bay, every single time, don't think I gave it a wave or a look or a verbal sign and some words towards John Tortorella, because we're proud people. The thing is, Patrik Laine is either going to thrive under John Tortorella, or John Tortorella is not going to be there. They didn't trade Dubois to bring in a star in Laine. He's going to get his way when it comes to the end.
Wow. Greg Klevgard watching. He says, honest, straightforward info from Barnaby. Good stuff. Ivan Diablo's written in. He says, too bad. Or he said, no more Brady talk. It's Tuesday, man. We're moving on. No grass grows under our feet, Barney. As you know, I do want to wind this up with some NFL talk and betting. I do, but I'm not done. You don't get Matthew Barnaby every day, folks. It's what we're going to talk about with Barney. All those points that I made. Oh, Vancouver. Did you see Sopel tweeted that those players have quit on the GM, not the coach? You don't see that happen very often. So what's happening in Vancouver?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I've really enjoyed the last couple games. I know Justin Bailey, who just got inserted in the lineup a couple games ago, played very, very well last night. Actually got robbed on that 2-on-1, so hopefully he stays up. Been watching Vancouver closely. They don't defend well. I think it is on betting. I really like Travis Green, the person, the coach. But the biggest mistake they made was letting Markstrom go. You just can't let your MVP of 2 years, maybe term was a little bit too long, but you have to have seen what he did for your franchise the last couple of years. And with a young group, you need that big save. I think Thatcher Demko can be a good goalie in the league. I don't think we can take what he did in the playoffs and say, okay, now we found our starter. Obviously, you bring in Holtby that has struggled the last couple of years, but I think the big mistake with that team was letting Markstrom go. And then you see Benning also doesn't come up with the money to sign Tyler Toffoli. So everything that he didn't touch or bring back has been incredible going the other way. So a tough ride for Vancouver. They just looked out of sorts. They played really well, I thought, last night. Found a way to lose again. But this is a very, very fragile team right now.
So, questions coming in. They love you, Barney. From James in Manitoba. He says, did Matthew play with Ducky? Did you cross time in Buffalo with Dale Hawerchuk? You did?
Yeah. I was there my first year. Then we ended up trading him to Philadelphia. But what a great man. You don't meet a combination of great player, great person, and a guy more eager after all he's accomplished in his career, even at that time, to help young guys. So he's one of the few guys that my nickname coming out of junior was Killer. Not because I killed guys, more because of the slap shot that I got killed, but I had the nickname Killer, and he was one of the very few that called me Killer. Him and Randy Moeller, who's a play-by-play guy and does color analyst for the Florida Panthers. But Ducky was just a super, super human being, and we're a worse place with him not being in here. And having had a chance to coach against him in the OHL, we'd reminisce a lot. He loved to play poker. He loved to play golf, and just a terrific family man that's sorely missed.
Oh, man, are we getting somewhere, Barney? We'd only have a few minutes left, but Jamie in Halifax watching says, isn't Stutzle surprising everyone and will be in the Calder Cup nominations? Do you think the Rangers are rethinking Alexis Lafreniere, or way too early for that?
I think it's way, way too early. I think Lafreniere is going to be a heck of a player. I think Byfield's going to be the heir apparent to an Anze Kopitar. Remember, he's a year younger, but I don't know if Stutzle is surprising anyone. I think anyone that's watched him in the World Juniors, he's an electrifying talent. He reminds me a lot of the likes of a Sergei Fedorov, and I'm not saying Hall of Fame right now. Don't put those in my but just reminiscent of the way that he skates. And Patrick Kane, very deceptive. I think out of the three, he is going to put up the most points when it's all said and done. Out of the three of those guys win their career, he's been a bright spot. All the young guys for Ottawa have been a bright spot. Josh Norris has played great. Tkachuk has played great. Brandstrom coming up now, who is now hurt, has played very well. But Tim Stutzle is going to be a star in this league.
Barney, just lastly, I'd like to get into Super Bowl, but we're almost out of time, and I want to promote what you're into now. I'm trying to find your tweet this morning. To me, find Matthew Barnaby on Twitter. Follow him because you're doing some unreal things with Bet99, and actually you're doing well. What's your secret with betting tips and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, betting's fun. I always say betting just enhances the game, and I'm fortunate enough to work with a great company in Bet99 out of Canada. So anyone that's looking for a place to enhance their experience and put bets in, it's just a great spot with great odds. To me, it's obviously it's studying the games, it's studying the trends. Well, we could take, Edmonton, Ottawa tonight, under 6.5. I like the under. I also like Edmonton on the money line. It's just watching the games, trying to not only decide who's going to win, because, you pick the favorites all day long. You won't make money that way, but it's almost like blackjack, I say. Progressive betting. When you're going bad, don't double up your bets. Because to say you can't lose 10, 11, 12 in a row, you can. But you can also parlay your good times, your good rolls, just like when you're betting 21, playing blackjack, go up a little bit and capitalize on those rolls that you may have. Most people go the opposite. They lose 2 or 3 games in a row and, oh my God, I'm betting the house on it. No, when you're going good, that's when you up your bets, and that's the way you make money.
So there it is. You've gained 20,000 more followers on Twitter since that last I looked, so things are going well. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Barnaby 3636. He's got his betting advice there, and I'm glad it's going well, my man. You rock. Let's do it again soon. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Keep up the great work. I watch you on TV. every single day. Keep up the awesome work and keeping Sassy proud out there.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Matthew Barnaby. And a big reason for that is because of guys like him. Love that guy.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.